Originally, I wanted to do today's episode about, a fairly long-winded rant slash one-sided discussion because I don't have anybody to soundboard off of right now about role-playing in the sense of acting the way you've created your character in terms of the choices you made, and that's kind of been a theme for a lot of the videos for the last little while, but particularly in terms of like how you play it where it matters in games like, say, Dragon Age or Mass Effect. Coming out of more of an alignment discussion I had discussing Pathfinder and D&D alignments with some other people, because it's always a difficult thing to kind of measure what is evil and what is good, because there's always exceptions to the rule no matter where you look in life and, in this case, in fiction. You could talk for days about it, but instead, something else happened today that I'd like to discuss instead, so we'll put a pin in that one, and that was I was playing The Elder Scrolls Morrowind more just to see how it would play with some of the recording software, and it wasn't too bad, so you might be seeing that in the future. But it's a game I can always come back to. I've mentioned it several times, and I noticed something, two things in particular. One, and it's something I love about the Elder Scroll games, more in Morrowind, and I would say Oblivion than in Skyrim, but the books were so good. It's a hell of a thing when you find yourself sitting down in a game where you're meant to be going around, running through dungeons, shooting magic out of your hands, swinging a sword, chugging potions, and killing demons. And instead, you've spent the last 30 minutes in-game reading a book. It's a book in a game. I mean, a book by any other name, but still, you're sitting down and you're reading a book. And some of these are, fantastic tales and legends from the world of Morrowind and Vardenfell and Skyrim and all that sort of thing. Some of them are just, notes from some noble in the game who's just like, oh, today we went and collected several gold coins from some poor farmer. He put up a fuss, I kicked him in the balls, that kind of thing. Or maybe it's just, potion recipes. Some of them are written in a language you can't even read or can't read right away. Some of them pertain to you or the legend which your character happens to be involved in. Some of them are just this long-winded, dry, boring history of the conflicts between the various races in the world, and magic and the Dwemer, which are now the dwarves. Anyway, all that kind of stuff. It runs the gamut from the most interesting to the most boring, from the most important to the least important, from the highly detailed to the what the heck am I looking at. Even some have a couple of sketches in them, that kind of thing. But I found myself just reading them. Half an hour, and that was not just a number I pulled out of my head. Literally half an hour sitting there reading several books that I'd found in the game. They weren't important to any quest. I picked them up because I liked the names, and then I started reading through them, and I realized, hey, hold on a second. I'm pretty sure my quest was to go into that house and steal 2 diamonds. And I did, but I also found a couple books, and instead of going right back to the bar and giving them to the cat, I just sat down in their room, after I'd robbed them, mind you, and they didn't think that was suspicious, and just read books. Can you imagine if someone busted in your home, cracked open your vault, stole your valuables, but instead of leaving, sat down on your bed and went like, ooh, she's got Wuthering Heights and a few other editions of Jane Austen novels. I think I'll read those. Oh, and a cookbook? That sounds cool. And what's this? Their diary. I gotta get me into that. And they just started reading all of your stuff that you left lying around, or they just, I don't know, that's kind of old-fashioned, I guess. They cracked open your Kindle and started flipping through whatever books you happen to have on there from wherever. Anyways, you see what I mean? It's a strange thing, but particularly in a game like that where the game is not like, read, thumbs up, but you find yourself doing that anyway. I think it's a real testament to the people who created the game that they made something so interesting, I'm willing to sit down and do something I do in real life anyway. But that was the fringe benefit of this particular topic. The real thing I want to talk about that also is a real time waster, not just in a game like Morrowind where I noticed it, but in any game where you can place, build, create, or arrange things. I want to know if this is just me, because I'm pretty sure it's not. Anybody who enjoys those kinds of games, do you find yourself spending an inordinate amount of time placing things? In real life, your room could look like a tropical storm hit a small town and stuff is scattered everywhere. But in a game, in Morrowind, in Skyrim, in Fallout, in Minecraft, in any game where you can build and arrange something, do you find yourself spending time you really don't need to spend, or could be spending actually playing the game, just placing and arranging things so they look just right. Like, you will pick up and place a bowl 20 times just to be like, nope, 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 there we go. Okay, perfect. Or you drop a bunch of books, you set them on a shelf, and they go, tut, 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 and you're like, don't like it that way, tut, 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 tut. All right, we'll try one more time. Bop, bop, bop. There we go. Descending order. I like it that way. I don't like where that skull is. I think I'll place it on the bookshelf. Yeah, but now it's by itself and there's nothing on the other side. You know what? I'll find a candle. Boop. There we go. That looks nice. Nah, but I think I'd like 2 candles there. We'll put the skull on the mantelpiece. And you just start arranging crap. Like, you go from being this legendary warrior who will vanquish evil to a Martha Stewart homemaker who is just arranging chairs in the middle of a house for no good goddamn reason other than you find yourself obsessed with it at that point in time. It doesn't happen anywhere else in your real life. It doesn't carry over. But in this place, in this world, for some reason, whether you are dealing with an elder god returned from times long ago to reenact a devastating cataclysmic event and sink the island, demons coming through portals of hell, or dragons returning after 1,000 years, now those world-ending threats can wait. If I don't arrange these plates symmetrically, evenly, and they're not all the same color, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind. Come to think of it, I don't think my bed has a pillow on it. Does it matter? Well, I mean, it doesn't affect my character's sleep stats or the experience bonus I get when I wake up. But I kind of want a pillow. I mean, do I need one? Is it important to the game? Not even a little bit. But it means something to me. Meanwhile, dragons are burning down the village. They're activating the heart of an old god to sink Vardenfell. Or, Daedra are spilling through portals on the countryside and killing innocent townsfolk. But thank frickin' God you've got that flower arrangement as a centerpiece in your table. Otherwise, the whole thing wouldn't work. The feng shui of the room would be thrown off, and you just couldn't focus on the trouble at hand. It's weird, right? I know I'm kind of focusing on that particular element, but you could put that into Minecraft, you could put it into Stardew Valley, you can put it into any game where you can set and arrange and move and rotate objects. I find myself spending stupid amounts of time just making them look right. And the crazy thing is, it's not like it gives me any kind of benefit in the game. It's not like suddenly a little window pops up and goes, hey, you arranged 24 forks. Congratulations. Have some experience. Have a little extra gold. You got the perk. OCD. Something like that. Nothing like that ever happens. And ultimately, when I eventually grow tired of the game and I put it down and I never play it again, or I don't play it for years, I'm not going to come back and go, that old save file. Man, you know what I love most about Morrowind? Dropping wooden bowls. Nobody says that, but I find myself every time when I'm just setting up a house doing that. There is a world-ending threat not 20 feet away up a mountain, and I just want to make sure that my bedroom looks good. You find yourself doing that in any other games? I'd be interested to hear about that. Or like the kind of lengths you go to and the amount of time you spend just setting things up. Because it can't be just me, or at least I hope it's not. It would make me feel better. Anyway, hope you guys can relate, or at the very least enjoyed this one. And until next time, my name's Rye. You guys take care of yourselves.